Welcome to another episode of the Alpha Life here. We are moving on with our main matter character, and we are finally getting into destroyers. Finally, we are gonna start off with the Talwar destroyer, a destroyer I really like, and I really enjoy it because sometimes you are tired of guns, sometimes you want to see something different. So missiles are great. I really enjoy them, and yeah, they can be a lot of fun. So let's move on to the feed itself. Let's start up by talking about why are we going to use the Talwar for this activity and what activity this will be. If you already saw the name of the feed, you will realize that it's for T0 Gamma Abyssals. Now, we already used a Rifter, but this will be a lower skill point feed. Meaning what? You don't need to have the Tech 2 guns for this one. This is all Tech 1 missiles, Tech 1 shields, Tech 1 Microwarpdrive, Tech 1 everything. Except for the ballistic control systems, but I'm pretty sure that you can run it with Tech 1 ballistic control systems. Although, if you go that route, I recommend the ballistic control system 1 instead of the crosslink ones, because the crosslink ones are extremely expensive and the ballistic control system 1 is extremely cheap. And then we're gonna have a damage control tech 1. Why? Because cheap. So let's start up with the feat and let's talk about what bonuses this Magnificent Talwar gets. So we get a 5% bonus to explosive light, missile, and rocket damage. This is per skill level. So in your skills, you're gonna want to train that Min Matter Destroyer as high as possible, and this will help obviously the Talwar feats and the Thrasher feats. So then we have a 15% reduction in Microwarpdrive signature radius penalty. Therefore, we can use the Microwarpdrive and not bloom our signature radius as much as we would with any other ship. This is really good in case we come across a ship that is really going to be troublesome and we want to run away from it, for example, in the Skybreaker room. So, last of all, for the roll bonus, a 50% bonus to light missile and rocket max velocity. So this will give us a little bit long range with the rockets and with the missiles, which is absolutely great. And the bonus to explosive light missiles are great because we will be running gamma sights, gamma abyssals, and this is exactly the resistance that we actually want to target, the explosive one. The good thing about using missiles is that you can actually target a particular resistance. That's why we are using these explosive missiles, and they are great for the Talwar for these bonuses. Of course, in the cargo hold, we have some Mjolnir Light Missiles, just in case we run into the Skybreaker and we cannot break his tank. As we know, the Skybreaker tank is shield tanked, and the EM resistance is the lowest there. So, let's start off with the feat itself. We're gonna start up with 7 Arbalest compact light missile launchers. So this is just Tech 1, you can get them from rats, from belt ratting. That's why it's really good to start belt ratting as fast as possible and as soon as possible. Next up, we are gonna move on to the Small Clarity Ward Enduring Shield Booster. We want to recharge those shields. We are at a gamma site, which means it gives us a boost to our total shields HP, but we want to be able to repair it because we are not gonna just passively tank everything. We're gonna need the shield booster eventually. Next up, we have our 5MNYT8 compact Microwarpdrive. Why the compact? Because you can see the fit is actually fairly tight. Next up, the Eutectic compact cap recharger. Why? So that it can help us a little bit. We're not gonna be cap stable either with the Microwarpdrive or with the shield booster on, but we want to get as much battery life as we can out of this battery. So yeah, the cap recharger, very important. Of course, I have the Ballistic Control Systems Tech 2. You can go for the Tech 1s and they won't make that much of a difference. And then finally the Damage Control Tech 1. Then we move on to the rigs for a small EM shield reinforcer. Why? Because the Triglavians mainly, I think it was the Triglavians that do electromagnetic damage, but you really want to close up that shield EM hole that all shield ships have. Next up, 2 small capacitor control circuit ones. Why? Again, because we want to have our shield booster running for as long as possible. just in case we actually need it. The good thing about this feat is that it's pretty long range, so most of the time we're gonna be shooting things from afar, but just in case, as usual, I will leave the feat in the description below. And just to check up that cap stability, as you can see, just the shield booster, we get 2 minutes out of energy, and with just the Microwarpdrive we are absolutely cap stable, so we can actually stay running far away from everything. We have some pretty good long range, 47 kilometers of long range with these missiles. Our targeting is not that good, just 41 kilometers, but it's okay, we will do with it. And yeah, let's get out of this station and move on to the sides. As you will see, let's just clean up the ship a little bit. That's something I always like to do before the videos, and this time I forgot. So yeah, let's undock and see how we run these sides. Now, first of all, what you're going to want to do is right click on your ship, see your name, go to form fleet with. Next up, I have a save in here. What else you can do? You can look for the sun and you can warp to 100 of it. But since I'm in a major trade hub, I'm actually going to go to a personal location that I made that's called the Abyss. Now, how do you make these personal locations? You click Control B and there it is. The location will save, you warp somewhere and the location will save itself at the spot where you want it saved, and you can of course change the name and have it expire or not have it expire. I'm not gonna make another one because I already have my Abyssal's running location, and since we are already in a fleet with ourselves, we can just start up and activate our Tranquil Gamma Filament. This one we will run on 2 destroyers. We just want to check out that we have the correct missiles for everything, the correct everything for everything, and get ready to run this Abyssal site. Of course, it's gonna be a lot better loot with the Rifter feat, but as you saw, that requires a little bit better skills, and I believe it's a little bit more expensive. So what we're going to do is approach the loot cache, get ready to lock our targets, and we're not gonna use the Microwarpdrive just yet because we actually want them to get close in on us, and we want to shoot them from afar while we just approach the loot cache. As you will see, this is pretty easy to run. This is pretty fun to run too, but it's very simple, especially for beginners. If you are a little afraid of the abyss, I'm sure I was when I was starting out, because it can be really daunting, you know, having that possibility of losing your pod, of losing your everything. If you have any implants that you are just starting out and spend a lot of time getting, well, you wouldn't want that. Of course, make a clone, make a fresh clone. This character has absolutely no implants. So let's go into the abyss. Of course, we are currently recording when the Halloween event is still going on. That's why we get these pumpkins as the loot cache. But yeah, we're just gonna turn on the Microwarpdrive, approach the loot everything, hit the gate. Remember to reload your missiles, maybe do a few runs of the shield booster. Let's loot all. Let's activate the gate, and since our Microwarpdrive is already on, we shouldn't take too long to get there. The good thing about this feat is that you can actually move pretty fast, so if anything that's gonna be a little bit scarier, for example, the Skybreaker starts approaching you a bit too much, you can just orbit him at 25 and stay out of his range. Now, again, I'm gonna turn off the Microwarpdrive and just start shooting. So yeah, just a single volley into the loot cache from these 2 missiles that I have together. I'm gonna start off the shield booster. Why? Just because, I mean, we could try to run away from him, but he shouldn't really be much of a problem. So let's just wait until we actually get to the loot and we kill him. But yeah, it should be pretty easy. It's a fairly easy feat to run. Just be careful, especially with the Skybreaker. Stay away from him as far away as you can. and yeah, shoot him from afar. For the rest of the things, you shouldn't really have any problems. As you can see, our shield booster is still holding on, our capacitor is still holding on. Pretty well, pretty okay. Our missile launchers are absolutely demolishing that Ephialtes Lancer. And yeah, see, that's it. He is done. I'm gonna turn off the shield booster, turn on the micro warp drive. As you can remember, our feat is cap stable with the micro warp drive, so we will be getting some capacitor back from just running that one. The only real problem with this feat is the shield booster that makes it cap absolutely not stable, even with the micro warp drive off, but it's okay, we are running okay. So we move on to the next site. Well, to the next room, sorry. And yeah, we have a Lucid Escort, so this should be a fairly easy room to run. And let's start firing everything. And as you can see, our shields are actually holding on a little bit great because we get 50% extra shield HP. So, if you remember, we had about 1000 shield EHP. Right now we have 5000 shield EHP, which is really, really great. So if you can see that I'm not even hitting that shield booster and not even activated, we still were able to take this guy down. Of course, I do recommend you don't let your shields go too low, because, well, you never know, and it's your shield booster is not gonna be able to bring them back up from 0 shields. But yeah, just so that you can see, this ship can absolutely run these T0 Gamma Abyssal sites, and I'm gonna try to hunt for a Skybreaker room, but if I run several sites and I don't get any, I will see you back at the station. Starting up the next run, and I came across this starting Damavik. Just so that you can get an idea of how well this fit does, I'm gonna keep him at 20 kilometers, turn on the micro warp drive, and just start running away from him. Why? Well, because we can. See, we start getting away from him, and he's not gonna be able to shoot us, so we are absolutely safe, and in the meantime, our shields are passively recharging, and we are absolutely cap stable with just a micro warp drive, so we will not have a problem just keeping this strategy. Of course, we will have one slight little problem, that these guys like to push us out into the depths of the abyss, but fortunately we killed him rather fast. But yeah, just in case you are getting pushed into the depths of the abyss, just double click to manually pilot your ship. Double click anywhere in space and your ship will go that way. So just get back into the arena and you should be good to go. Of course, you might take a little bit of damage, but that's what the shield booster is there for. So yeah, as you saw, striking Damavik, absolutely no problem. And attack pacifier this paratroop. So, how are we gonna deal with this guy? Oh, well, exactly the same as with everyone else. We're gonna keep it range. Let's try 15. But let's try orbiting him at 15. And we just gonna send our launchers to him. We can start hitting. Let's see if he can still hit us at 11. We are 12. Okay, he can hit us at 12, 14, 15. Oh, I think, oh no, he can still at 15. So let's orbit him 20. Let's get out of that range, and again, our gamma shield bonus is really coming in clutch, because if we didn't have that, we would already be dead. So I think that went rather well. As you can see, we can take down a Dispar troop without even having to turn on our shield booster. That was pretty easy. I'm still gonna hunt for that Skybreaker room. Just finishing up the 5th run for the day of Abyssals. So you can see we already have that Origin Conduit showing up on the scanner, and that means this is the last room of this run. And unfortunately, I didn't get the Skybreaker, but well, it is what it is. And if you do get it, it's exactly the same strategy that we used with the Sparrow Troop, and the exact same that we used with the Triglavians. We're gonna orbit, of course, with the Skybreaker, we're going to want to orbit either at 20 or at 25, wherever you feel the safest, because at that range he will not be able to hit you, and that's exactly what we want, and that's the best part about running this feat, that the other guys are not able to hit you. Of course, with some of the stuff, for example the drones that don't really make that much damage, we don't use the Microwarpdrive and instead use the shield booster. But yeah, it's basically just orbit at 20 or at 25, wherever you feel the safest with the Skybreaker, and you shouldn't really have any problem. So, yeah, I'm going back to the station. Thank you also very much for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I will also leave you some pretty useful links. For example, a site where you can actually check Abyssal runs and the feats that people are running, and it's really, really cool. But yeah, if you have anything to tell me, please let me know. I promise I'm getting my editing a little bit better, slowly but surely. But yeah, and I am also thinking of getting myself a proper microphone, because I have been listening to my own videos and I know they sound awful. So yeah, thank you also very much for watching. If you find it in your heart, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, consider following. I will see you in the next one.